नीचे दिए हुए लाल बटन पर क्लिक करके इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और घंटी के बटन को क्लिक करना ना भूलें। BKT मीडिया प्राइवेट लिमिटेड। Namaskar, this is Shilpa Bhawana and once again I welcome all of you in the season 2 of this unique talk series, Chartered Accountants, The Growth Gears. It is presented by Committee for Members in Industry and Business, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
Chartered accountants are known as the complete business solution providers because of their ability and competence to provide professional services in the areas ranging from accounts to audit, planning to production, marketing to sales, income tax to information technology, and so on. Contribution of CAs have been acknowledged in fields like mergers and acquisitions, management consultancy, insolvency, valuation, forensic accounting, fundraising through various modes. Chartered accountants as strategic partners are essential to achieve success in any business.
Entering into a professional world, it's always being said that even one woman can make the difference. But I must tell you that together we can rock the world. And today I am going to rock this special talk series, Chartered Accountants, The Growth Gears. How? Because I am going to be accompanied by another woman on the sets. Yes, my dear friends, I am talking about a lady who is smart, who is intelligent, and most importantly, she knows her job. My dear friends, get ready to meet the CEO of HDFC Life, CA Vibha Padalkar.
Honored by the ICAI with CA CFO Insurance Sector, she is CA Vibha Padalkar, reinforcing the place of women within the industry. CA Vibha Padalkar is the only lady CFO within the private life insurance industry and was too conferred with the CFO Woman of the Year in 2011 by the ICAI.
Such an honor sitting next to the lady who have been accredited as the Business Woman of the Year many times, if I'm not wrong.
One of the successful businesswomen.
Yeah,
Yes.
Great. So we look forward to have many more.
Absolutely. Second that.
So when did you choose insurance or insurance chose you?
I think the second part, a lot of what my growth that has happened by itself. So I was in the business process management industry in WNS and was part of the group that the team that listed it on NYSE. And that was a sunrise sector. And then I'd been there, done it, and I think the IPO bug caught me. And I was looking for the next sunrise sector. And this company, and insurance more specifically, life insurance, was very nascent. And HDFC Life was looking to list, and that's how I got in here. Mr. Deepak Parekh was on the board of WNS, and so it was very visible HDFC.
Okay.
You know, and that's how I meandered into insurance, and I'm very happy that I did.
So how do you appreciate the presence of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India on international platform, if I ask?
It's very well regarded, and it's just getting better and better because we've had members who have done very well in all walks of life, and they are in a way our flag bearers. What better way to spread the word of this wonderful institute?
Yes, exactly. They are into different fields. They are into banking, they are into financial services, they are the entrepreneurs, and as like the ladies like you are also there in the insurance. So how do you see such kind of versatility that a CA qualification gives you? How do you see that?
I see it as one of the foremost foundation bases that one can have. That's an all-round base, and I'll explain. It gives this entry into pretty much anything, like you mentioned, because the foundations on basics of macroeconomics, basics of the legal framework, basics of taxation. That's the technical part. But more importantly, as an articled clerk, now I don't know what it is called.
It's still called articleship.
Articleship. Maybe some fancy name would have been there, but that gives you a grounding on things like interpersonal skills, customer-facing roles at a very, very young
and it
age.
makes you a team player as well.
Team player, how to manage stress, how to pace work life, how to pace your work itself, how presentation matters, how articulation matters. So it's a very all-rounded, very good foundation base, and hence people can leapfrog into pretty much anything, and it gives you that fungibility because you can build on this base very well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. When was the time, like when you felt that your qualification of CA degree actually helped you out, like to excel in every field that you have stepped in, because you had different ladders in between? So
I would say without hyperbole that there's not a single day in my career that I don't thank what the institute has given me and what the training most importantly has. Not a single day. When I'm in a quandary on trying to resolve a business solution or you've reached a log jam with partners or customers or our own team members, I go back to my basics of what I learned. It's how to simplify. Sometimes we overcomplicate things.
ये जो simplifying वाला method है, you have got all that from the Institute of Chartered Accountants.
100%. Simplifying in terms of what is the crux of the matter, and having it in a sequential basis, cause and effect. The CA training has given me an antenna. The smell test, something's not right in the way they're saying so much of tax asset is there or a deferred tax asset is there. Doesn't seem right for this size of business, or they say they're going to win this legal case, but when I look at the nuances, even a quick reading gives you a sense as to where to dig, where opportunities lie, and so on.
The kind of course structure is made for a person to qualify as a chartered accountant. It actually gives you a fundamental to solve any kind of problem that you get in your professional life. You agree to that?
Yes and no. The course structure is great, but the fact that you have to do your articleship along with it and be client facing, that combination is potent. It makes you grow up very fast, and it exposes you to a lot more than just classroom training.
Exactly.
So I'm a great proponent of not having a deconstructed model wherein you do something in the classroom and that's about it and you pass your exam. That becomes very bookish.
Yeah, so you need to be on practical ground.
Absolutely.
On the field.
Absolutely. And you keep applying what you just learned into that. Then you never forget it. It's like riding a bicycle. Right? You never forget
you never forget
it's like that. I still go back to my principles. I'm sure every chartered accountant, even 30 years later in their career, go back to the basics.
Yeah.
And that's because of your ability to apply immediately what you've learned.
तो जीवन में इस बात को याद रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हमारी जो आधारशिला है वो जितनी ज़्यादा मजबूत होगी उतनी ही हमारी अच्छी और सुंदर इमारत वहाँ तैयार होने वाली है. So as CA Vibha Padalkar has said that you people need to work on the fundamentals, and along with that on-ground training is very much required. And when you are on ground at that time, self-learning helps you a lot. Is that true?
Absolutely. You can only be given a guidance, a framework. But उसके बाद आप ही देख सकते हो कि how do you crack this?
Yes.
The whole CA exam cracking, as well as taking the essence of it, the apprenticeship, the technical training, but the application, the third leg of yourself, of saying, okay, I've learned this, let me pick up the newspaper and let me see whether I understand interest rates, yield curve movements, other terminology to apply to this. Because ultimately we are going to move into the real world. So that is the third aspect, which can only be through self-learning, self-introspection and so on.
The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is confident that women can perform with same level of competence as men can. The number of women CAs are increasing every day, with latest being the women at the top 3 of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India final exam of 2021.
Today, world over, the sustainability goals which the United Nations has set forth are being discussed. One of the most important sustainability goal is SDG 5 that talks about equality. I'm extremely happy to note that at the Institute, we are seeing a huge number of women pursue the course of chartered accountancy. What is even better is that the pass percentage of the girl students far exceeds that of the boys. Today, we are at a situation that 30% of our membership consists and comprises of women. I am sure as we move forward and the girls increase their participation in the chartered accountancy course, with the increased results, women are going to overtake men, and we will surely see more women chartered accountants in the industry and practice.
ICAI is encouraging equal participation of women in the economic growth, be it in the financial sector, banking sector, insurance sector, or various other fields.
The number of women in Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is growing significantly. In the year 2000, 22 years before, women constituted only 8% of total ICAI membership. This situation has changed drastically over the years, and their strength now increased to 20% in 2012 and 22% in 2014. Today, women chartered accountant of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India constitute more than 28% of total number of members at ICAI, which means there are more than 1 lakh women CA out of 3.58 lakh CAs, and they are successfully contributing to various fields of profession and also outside the profession.
The passion of the student at the school level itself towards the CA course is so much that even a substantial number of female students take courage to complete in one of the toughest examination system in the world. We have a good mix of male and female ratio in the final pass out of chartered accountancy course to facilitate the corporate to hire out of both the genders to ensure a balance of workforce in their organizations.
How do you see the opportunities lying in front of a woman when she has a qualification of CA in her hands? Because there are a lot of budding CAs and aspiring girls who wants to be a chartered accountant. So what would you like to say about that?
I would like to say, world's your oyster, go for it, because post the qualification will just add that layer of confidence to you. Women often lack the confidence that am I good enough, the imposter syndrome, will I make it? You are going to face a lot of hurdles, but it is important that if you are armed with this qualification, then really there's no stopping you.
And my dear friends, if you are really looking for a thriving career, I must say that CA is the key, and you absolutely agree to it.
Totally.
So how that key opened the door of many more opportunities for you, if I ask you personally?
What happens is you get called for interviews, you get a seat at the table. Automatically, if there are 5 people around the table and you have a CA qualification and you're all hotly debating different points of view, it adds a little bit of weightage. Of course, it matters as to what is it that you're saying, but it's like a relay. You already are starting at an advantage.
Yes.
If there's an M&A, nobody will worry about a CA handling an M&A because the tax, legal, the financial metrics, synergies after, all of that play to a CA skills. Or if you look at setting up a new venture, again, what does it take to set up a new venture? Does it make sense?
Right.
And so on. Again, it automatically plays to a CA strength. So again, that there is no starting trouble.
Exactly. But I would say, like when we say that CA degree is an added advantage, so for getting that added advantage, you need to work really hard. Have you find sometimes the solution to a problem or to a challenge where you see, oh, my CA degree helped me out here or here. That is the reason I was able to crack it.
It happens all the time again.
All the time.
All the time. And I think that's why the attention to detail, ability to pick up things, the smell test that I talked about, and how to unclutter. So it could be, otherwise we get teams come to you with a lot of data.
Yes.
But you're able to pinpoint that this doesn't look right, or logically this cannot be right, whatever it might be. So that helps big time in terms of going back to the foundations that the CA qualification gave me.
And when we talk about the ethics at the same time when a professional is working in the industry, as a chartered accountant, how do you see the importance of these ethics? Because in society, in country, like the signature of a chartered accountant matters a lot. It tells about the health of an organization. So these are important things.
Absolutely. And the fall will be even harder. So just as you get a head start because of the letter CA, the fall, if you don't adhere to corporate governance, if you don't adhere to ethics, because people will say that, or the regulator will say, you are a chartered accountant. I didn't expect you to do this.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So there is equal amount of responsibility. It is a great privilege, but there's also a great responsibility. And so one has to use this very judiciously. Do not sign anything that you don't understand. Do not say yes to complexity that you don't understand. These are some of the simple mantras. Take a little bit more time. Yes, it will take more effort. But some of these to-do things will stand you in good stead.
So when we talk about the insurance sector, so how do you see this sector going in from the eyes of a chartered accountant, if I say?
Today, the protection gap in our country is 83%. People who are getting older, and so retirement and similar kind of products that are suitable for older age groups, that is progressively increasing. Medical inflation is still very high. People are just beginning to worry about the fact that a pandemic or some other major event. So, and innovation is happening. There's Meditech, InsurTech, and all the cool stuff is also beginning to happen, and the regulator also is supportive. So this is really the beginning of a very lovely journey and a huge roadmap. So there's a huge amount of opportunity. It's still in the financial services space. So again, it plays to the strengths of a CA. Because largely what we do is about money, actuarial science. So CA with an actuarial degree would be a very potent combination. So this business will only grow, and therein opportunities will grow.
Do you remember actually the day when you got to know that you can use CA in front of your name?
I don't think any CA will forget that, right? So for me, it was the beginning of all the things I wanted to do. It wasn't the end.
So when did this term chartered accountancy came into your ears for the first time?
So my father's elder brother was the finance director at Kirloskar Cummins.
Okay.
He was a role model, and it's important to have role models.
Yes.
Having said that, it was also a combination of things that I was not good at. I was not good at physics. My mother is an IAS officer, so I didn't want to pursue that. I was a rebel, so I said, no, I don't want to do that.
I want to do something else.
I want to do something else, right? I want to do something else. And medicine, I thought, too much of blood, that, would I be able to do the long hours and so on. And then my uncle comes along, he's driving in a cool car, sitting in a nice office, and he's talking about, world events, things that sounded interesting to me. Other companies, other industries, what's happening, and so on. So that was, I think, early seeds in my mind were from him.
Many times there are dreams lying in the small districts and the small cities of our country, and they want to come out and they want to become a chartered accountant. So what would you like to say to them?
First of all, there's no shortcut to hard work. So that's something, the sooner you start, the easier it's going to get to just get your exams out of the way. Second is that the way I did, see your exams and the passing of exams as a starting point. Start thinking about what are you going to do with this qualification. That's equally important, because there can be many roads that you can take from here on. So the sooner you start thinking about it, the more you will ensure that you get down the road that you want to, whether it's in industry, practice, and so on, consulting, into digital innovation, and so on. And to the ladies, I would say that this is one of the best. At the same time, have clarity as to what you want to do further down. Don't just throw in your towel because the going gets tough. It is going to get tough, but after that, it is going to get easy, believe me. So you need to hang in there.
Yeah. So, but along with that, do you agree to it that we need to have a kind of support system for everyone, not only about the ladies I'm speaking about, but yes, when we are talking about the working population in India, then at that time, yes, women need more support from the family and the people around them. So, you agree to it?
I agree to it. They need to plan even before they need it. They need to start planning for it. You can't start thinking about it when you're in the middle of the situation. And you're not going to be the first one, you're not going to be the last one to have kids, to have old parents and so on, right? So start thinking about it as what is your plan A, what is your plan B, and then that will help you.
We are so overwhelmed that you have given such a precious time to us for this candid interaction. It was lovely talking to you. But before we bid a goodbye to you, here is a special segment, and we call this Shilpa Bhawana special.
Okay.
So now you know there is going to be something special over here.
Yes, and this has not been coached. I don't know what is coming.
So it's a rapid fire.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be saying some statements and you have to tell me if this is true or false. India is a land of opportunities for insurance.
100% true.
Okay. And insurance does not specify any kind of security.
False.
It's false. It gives the security.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if I ask you to fill in the blanks. So the qualification of chartered accountancy is?
Provides a great foundation.
Wow. And being a member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India gives you?
Huge respect and the tools to do very well.
If you have to define the success of a woman in one word, what that would be?
Achieving her dreams, whatever they are.
Oh, great. And if I say CA Vibha Padalkar, how would you define her?
Easy to deal with. And a compassionate leader.
Yeah, I would agree to that thoroughly. Thank you so much for joining us in this session. It was lovely to have you.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
After having the phenomenal talk with CA Vibha Padalkar, I can actually say that the most independent woman of all is the one who doesn't rely on your sword to save her, because she carries her own. My dear friends, and to all the girls out there, I would really like to urge that please don this sword of CA qualification with you. I must tell you that once you wear the right shoes, you can conquer the world. On behalf of the Committee for Members in Industry and Business, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, this is Shilpa Bhawana signing out for today. Taking your leave. Jai Hind.